An inmate at the Virginia Department of Corrections, Red Onion State Prison. To accept this call, press 0.
This is Red Onion Randy. Today I'm going to talk about prison jobs. Some of the prison jobs that I've had in the past. And maybe even a story or two of said jobs. Sorry, I just thought of a funny story that's really gross and it's really nasty, but I'm going to tell it anyway, but not just yet. The absolute worst prison job I've ever had is the shower man. And as a shower man, it was my job to clean the showers after everybody was done. And as you can imagine, when you have a bunch of inmates taking showers in the same showers, them showers get quite nasty and disgusting. Because you have some guys with no home training at all. You have guys who will go in there and they'll take a dump in the shower. And then they'll just take it and they'll take their shower shoe with their foot and they'll push it over towards the drain, step on it and kind of smush it into the drain, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it goes all into the drain. You'll have guys who will, excuse me for saying this, masturbate, and they will spin their seed on the sides of the walls where it will just stick. You have guys who will cut themselves, while they're shaving, and they'll just tap their razors on the wall and knock the blood and the hair off and just leave it there instead of rinsing it off. You'll have guys that urinate in the showers. Look, when I tell you it's disgusting, believe me, it's disgusting. But it was my job, and as you know, I didn't have money during those years. That little 27 cents that I made an hour, that's all the money I got was a little $32 a month. And I was grateful for it when I had it, but I hated cleaning those showers because you have to go in and you get the scrub brush and chemicals and everything, and it's just nasty to see the stuff, the fluids that comes out of a human body has to be one of the grossest things in this world. It's just nasty. And then when you have 20 or 30 guys do it in the same damn shower, I would not wish that upon my worst enemy. So yeah, it's just so gross. And you have to go in there and you clean, and sometimes the floors are very, very slippery. I may or may not have fallen. I can neither confirm nor deny that. But let's just say it's just nasty. Oh, God, I hate going in the showers. I like taking showers. I'm a clean person. But I hate going in the shower. That's why I do my best to be the first one in the shower every day. That way I don't have to take a shower in another man's filth. But yeah, it's horrible. It's just, I don't even want to talk about it no more. I'm so grossed out. I've had houseman jobs. Those are pretty easy because you come out and you sweep the floor, you mop the floor, you pick up trash, you clean the windows, wipe the tables down, stuff like that. Just typical cleaning. Though, being a houseman is, it's good and it's bad, especially when you're in segregation. Because when you're in seg, you come out, you have guys that want you to pass. They want you to pop the tray slot and pass for them. And obviously, if you get caught, passing, you're going to get charged with tampering with the security device. You're going to get fired and lose your job. And let's face it, the guys asking you to pass for them, they're not going to pay you. They're not going to give you food because you got fired and you can no longer afford to buy because you don't have a job no more. But at the same time, I'm old school. if I can help you, I'm gonna help you. You know, so I would pop slots and I would pass. And yes, I've gotten fired for getting caught quite a few times. But that's just something I do. But you also see some crazy things when you're the houseman. You know, you're not supposed to look in another man's cell. You just ain't supposed to do that. That's prison etiquette, and it's something you never want to do. But sometimes when you're sweeping or you're cleaning the window or whatnot, like motion will catch you out your peripheral vision. And you'll kind of glance, just not even thinking about it, not paying attention, and you'll see something you don't want to see. For example, I don't know how many of you have actually watched the documentary Solitary Look Inside Red Onion. But the way you got the cells, you got the door at the front, and then you got this wall that goes straight back, and then you got another wall that kind of cuts at an angle diagonally. And on that diagonal, you got a sink that goes from the floor to about waist height. And then on the side of it, you got the toilet mounted. And so one day I was sweeping, and something just caught my attention, and I looked up. And you had this guy. He had one foot on the toilet. He had the other foot on the sink. And he was leaning forward with one arm against the wall. And he had 3 fingers shoved up his rectum. And he was giving it hell. He was wearing himself out. And I fell away. I literally fell away up against the railing. I was on the top tier. If I wouldn't have caught myself, there's a good chance I might have went through the railing and hit the concrete on the bottom tier. And I was bust out laughing. And at the same time, you had the CO was down there, and he was looking at me like, what the hell is wrong with this fool? And look, I'm not going to be the only one that's sharing my misery if I don't have to. So I was like, dude, you got to go look. So the CO come upstairs, and he looked, and he saw, and he fell back gagging. And you just see some wild things. You know, there was another time that I was sweeping, and unfortunately, you know, motion got the better of me in my peripheral vision, and I looked. And you had this one guy. He took a wave cap. And a wave cap is what black guys wear over their head, you know, the shiny black material that helps them get the waves in their hair. And so it was like a square cloth of that, and then it had 2 long strings on the corners of it, so that you can wrap around your head and tie it down tight to keep it on there. And he had actually turned that into a G-string. And he was standing on the table, and he had some go-go music blasting in the cell because he had it hooked up through his... And, I mean, he was dancing. I mean, he was putting on a damn show in that cell. So, you know, you see some crazy things as a houseman. So if you ever find yourself in prison, which I hope to God you don't look in somebody's cell. Put blinders on like you see those Budweiser Clydesdales wearing. Just keep them from seeing anything. Just sit straight ahead. Because you're going to see some stuff that you don't want to see. Stuff that's going to engrave itself on the inside of your eyes. And you just ain't never going to get those images out of your head. And believe me, there is not a person in this world wanting to see that boy go-go dancing in a thong. G-string, whatever the hell you want to call it. Gross. And I've had barber jobs. The barber jobs are pretty much your better jobs in prison. And, you know, I taught myself how to cut hair. You know, I'm not fancy or anything, but, you know, I can do a Caesar, I can fade, I can temp. You know, I can do stuff like that. I'm even been teaching myself to blend a little bit, which is a little bit difficult as, you know, I don't have scissors. I have to do everything with just one set of trimmers, you know, and only 2 guards. It's a little bit more difficult to do it that way. But it's having a job in prison has been a lifesaver at times. Like I said, I've done most of my bid with nothing. No money, no job, no TV, no books from the outside, just nothing. But there has been a few times where, I was able to get a houseman job or a showerman job or a barber job. And I had a little bit of money, and I was able to improve my life a little bit. Usually I try to get books, I try to educate myself and get things that are going to be beneficial to me. Along with getting a little bit of commissary so I can supplement my diet from the kitchen. But getting a prison job is something that you want because it helps you to stay busy. It gives you something to do. It makes you feel a little bit more normal. It makes you, just the way y'all feel on the street, getting up, going to a job, coming home, so on and so forth. That's the way a lot of guys in prison feels. The worst thing prison officials can do is keep a prisoner trapped in a cell all day doing nothing, with nothing to do. Which is why I don't understand why. I'm just going to use my governor, for example, Governor Northam. And I'm sure nobody's brought it to his attention. He hasn't thought about it. I don't know. But if I was the governor, if I was in his shoes, one of the things that I would do, and it's a win-win situation for everyone, instead of letting a company build a factory in China or Bangladesh or some other country, build that factory beside the prison. Obviously, put your fences around it, your guard towers and whatnot, and you basically, you're giving prisoners jobs. You're giving them jobs. And, obviously we're not going to make minimum wage, but you can pay us $2 or $3. The company can pay the inmates $2 or $3 an hour to do the work for them. And they can get, tax breaks for not taking the company to another country so they don't have to pay taxes. That improves the economy. It gives inmates something to do. It helps build skills. It helps them to get acclimated to actually working and having a job instead of standing on a street corner selling dope or, robbing somebody or breaking into somebody's house or doing some other criminal activity. So, that's just my 2 cents. I think that, that could be a win-win situation for the company. They don't have to pick themselves up and relocate halfway around the world so they can save money in taxes. It's going to improve the economy. It's going to give jobs to people who need it, who need that stability. And, and they can realize that, the prisoner can realize, hey, you know what, man? Working a job ain't that bad. Because most prisoners have actually never had a job in their life. Most prisoners start being a criminal when they're juveniles, and they continue up into their adult lives until they get caught by the police and thrown in prison. So they don't even know what it's like to work in the first place. So if you can give them a job and show them that, hey, it ain't the end of the world to get up and go to work and to have some responsibility, and you can make money, and you can be able to buy some of the things you want to buy and, kind of enjoy life a little. We'll take that out to the streets when we get released from prison, and it'll be so much easier for an inmate at that point or prisoner at that point to go out and start looking for jobs. Not only that, if they've done a good enough job, that company still has factories at other places. They can go and get a job there working for them because they've already been trained and work for them. So there's a lot that can be done as far as having a job in prison because the benefits are they're just numerous. There's so many ways in which having a job in prison will help a person. It keeps you calm. It gives you something to do. It makes you think. It gives you hope. And it keeps you from being idle. You know what they say, that old maxim, idle hands are the devil's play shop or workshop.
You have 1 minute remaining.
This has been Red Onion Randy. I hope you enjoy listening to me. I hope you check out my website, redonionrandy.com. And for those on Apple Podcasts, I would appreciate it if you would give me 5-star ratings or whatever you think I deserve. And as always, word of mouth would be much appreciated. Please tell your family and friends. Thank you for listening to me. Take care and stay safe.
Hold me when I'm falling. Niggas want it on me. Want it, tell it on me. Stood up, now I'm stony. I got a lot of fake ones. I just want it bail out. Niggas monkey rojo. I no time to make so. Business in motion.
Thank you for using GTL.